Today I'm working on a 2007 Audi A4. I'm replacing the oil filter housing assembly. This assembly right here, the oil cooler attaches to the front of it, and the rest of it just bolts to the block. So it's down here. First step you want to do is remove just the engine cover and this piece of plastic trim. These just kind of pull up. There's nothing really holding them in place. You just pull those up out of the way. And pull this out of the way, and take this screw off here, and you can lift this reservoir and kind of swing it out of the way a little bit further. You can unplug the level sensor at the bottom, take this, lift it, and put it on top of your windshield solvent reservoir. After that, you can take the hose off of your throttle body, just this clamp here, that clamp there, pull this hose out of the way, and then remove the throttle body. So I'm going to do that right now. Alright, now with that stuff pulled out of the way, the throttle pulled off the intake, real easy, just T30, these little screws here, 4 of them hold the throttle on. It's real simple. Pull that out of the way, and you can release these 2 multi-pin plugs under the intake here. You release those, and you just release both of those, and you can get to the bolts now for the oil cooler here. So there's just 4 bolts that hold this onto the oil filter housing. The four bolts right here. You can use this again for the location, so it's easier to find. But they're 6mm Allen is what you're going to need, and you can get in there with about a 6-inch extension, and just pull all of those bolts out. With those out of the way, you can just take this oil cooler, put a bucket under it or something to catch the coolant, and just move that right out of the way. So that's what I'm going to do now. Alright, I pulled those 4 screws out. One thing I forgot to mention in the last video there, in the last little segment, is this screw right here has to come off. Sorry, my light's so bright. This screw here, it goes to a bracket that attaches the 2 upper bolts on the oil cooler. So it goes, this little bracket goes, just this one screw here, and then the 2 upper oil cooler screws, and then this bracket can come out, and then that kind of traps this, between these hard lines and the oil cooler. So just pull this screw out, and then those 4 ones I was talking about, and then you can snake this little bracket out of there. You can just slide it out, and then the oil cooler will be loose, and you can just pull it and push it back towards the back of the engine bay out of the way. So I'm gonna do that now. Alright, now I have that stuff out of the way. The only thing left to do really here is there's a oil pressure sensor that attaches to the oil filter housing right here, right there off the side, so it's off the back side of the engine. Just disconnect the electrical connector on it. It's hard for me to show you again because it's in a bad spot, but you can reach down here and disconnect it. Once that's unplugged, then you can start getting to all the bolts. So again, use this for reference. There's 4 bolts that secure this to the block. Right here, there, and there. So use a 10mm swivel, 1/4-inch drive, and get to all 4 of them. So I'm gonna do that now. Alright, now with all the fasteners off all 4 of them, there's one thing I forgot to mention. Down here, next to the oil filter housing, there's a little bracket that goes to the crank position sensor connects here. It's usually positioned like this right here. You pull that off, it slides right out, and pull that 1 bolt here. It's another 6mm Allen. Pull that bolt out, and then you can pull this bracket, and then with that bracket off, there's enough clearance here where you can pull the whole assembly out the bottom. Do it from the top, but you can remove it underneath all these coolant lines, and then you can just grab it out of there. So I'm gonna do that now. Alright, now I pulled it out of there. It came out pretty easy. You just gotta wiggle it around a little bit, kind of pull the bottom of the filter housing towards the back of the subframe, towards the back of the car. Move it that way, and then you can kind of just drop it right out of there and then pull it out the top right through here. So I got it out. You want to clean the sealing surface real good on the block, and kind of make sure it's all real nice and dry and clean. And you kind of reinstall it the same way. On these, I've had nothing but trouble using aftermarket. I've tried all different brands because they're fairly expensive from the dealer, but these I just do dealer only now. I've had so many problems in the past with aftermarket filter housings, and they have a lot of, after tons of heat cycles, and you're twisting on this cap. A lot of times they're over torqued at oil change places and stuff like that, where you have to really force these things to to get the filter out. A lot of times they distort, and they won't stop leaking, and the aftermarket ones don't seem to hold up very well, so I just get them at the dealer. And that's it. So just stick it back up there and reinstall everything the same way you took it out. It's not too bad of a job. It's a lot of labor. The labor charge is pretty big, so it's worth doing yourself. You can do just about everything other than draining the oil from the top here. So yeah, that's it. So I hope this video helped a little bit, and thanks.